So when I hit perimenopause, I had a pretty bad case of brain fog, and that sent my world spinning out of control. Um, it took me about 4 years to be able to get on top of it. During that period, I got really stressed. I didn't have a lot of fun. And I was very fortunate that I had some of the best support in the world because I was working for the IT world and I had, amazing resources. And I live in Australia, which is quite a great country to live in. So there are many reasons why this is happening. And there's a lot of women that are mature that are not coping in the 50s. So I just want to try to understand why that is. Okay. When a woman is in their 50s today, it is very different from a woman in their 50s 15 years ago. And there's some reasons for it. Just recently, the institute, the E61, issued an analysis talking about the sandwich generation. And it is saying that when women are part of the workforce, they used to have children when they were younger. Now, because we are delaying parenthood, it's taking us longer to have children. And that has consequences that when we hit our 50s, we are now taking care of children that are on school age, whilst our counterparts 15 years ago, their children were already in university. So right now we are getting stuck in between having to take for children that need still a lot of attention at the same time as when our parents are starting to need a lot of attention. So we're kind of stuck in the middle. And if you think that's the only thing that has impacted us, unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. A big thing happened in between, which is COVID. When COVID came around, that completely changed the world, right? We all went suddenly online. So during 2020 was one of the years in which the most apps were downloaded in the world. And that was the beginning of a world in which we are more stuck online and we open the doors to COVID and to technology into our everyday life. So that explosion in tech also generated something that um, is a problem, and it is that our time online is valuable. And because our time online is valuable, the apps, because they're trying to run a business, they're trying to keep us online more often. So, on top of everything, now we're spending a lot of time online and we are getting addicted. We all know that we are using our apps quite often, and some of them are very useful, and that's very good. However, the problem is when you are a woman and you're trying to raise children the way that we used to, it gets more complicated because now as a woman you have to be handling a lot of interruptions, and when the school is trying to get in touch with you for the for whatever it is that you're doing, instead of having one single source of information, now you're getting one app, or you're having to download an online email, or you have the WhatsApp group. So you end up with all of these interruptions when something used to be just a note in a school bag and that was the end of it. You didn't need to do more than that. So that's one part. The other part is that because our data is valuable, now there's a lot of people saying, you know what, I'm going to try to, nick your information. And we're all been trying to be very careful, very cautious, and not giving all of our information in a single point because that opens up to risk. But what ends up happening is that we have these 50, 60 apps, and the only person that is coordinating all of these, especially from a household level, is the woman. So you end up having to deal with all of these constant interruptions. So you're not coping. You're feeling like you're really trying to get ahead of it. Now, this could not be a problem if women were getting paid the same amount of money as men. but that's still not the case. Just in the report in September for the Equality Institute of Australia, we are making, especially from that group in their 50s, 7 cents per each 10 cents a man makes. So we're still making 30% less overall for the same amount of work. So we're making less money, we're having more interruptions, and in order for us to cope, we are taking part-time roles or taking contracting. So it all of this is giving us, a disadvantage to be making more money into the future. So all of those things are making it very difficult for women in the future to be getting ahead. So we have data that is going against us because it's valuable and that people are trying to get our attention. We're having um, a lot of um, distractions and um, having to manually connect everything. And if we try to get an app to connect everything, we're exposing the data of the family. So it's like catch 22. You're doomed if you do, you're doomed if you don't. And we have developed a lot of bad habits. So we are online all the time. We're getting the blue light on our face. So all of that is creating an environment in which our brain is not coping. Now, that's already difficult cities. Now, if you throw into the mix that you may be having perimenopause symptoms, what is going to happen? Especially if you get a bad night's sleep, you're not going to be able to cope with all of this information. So that has consequences in terms of you are going to go online and try to see, okay, what is the best route that I'm going to take? And you end up taking about a year to find the right treatment for yourself. But if you have, you know, a very bad case of brain fog, what are you going to do? Like you're stuffed. You're not going to be able to be working. And that puts you at risk because if it's going to take you a year to get better, companies in general expect you to bring, improvement within 3 months, 4 months. But what are you going to do if you are not delivering? You put yourself at the risk of being made redundant, and or maybe yourself, you're going to go, you know what, I'm too stressed, I can't cope with this, I'm going to take part-time roles. All of these things are going to have an impact down the road for you to having less money to retire. We are already seeing the consequences in a study that just got published. The number of women that are facing homelessness in Australia from 2016 to now has increased by 10%. So things are not getting better. Now, what can we do about it? Well, can we get you more doctors that are training perimenopause that are going to be helping you? Are we going to be waiting for science? Well, I can't just grow a doctor and then just give it to all of us. But in the meantime, I think what we can do is I'm trying to test if I can um, create a social enterprise in which I can provide some respite in the meantime. But I can't do it alone. I need to be able to have data and to find out whether the prototypes that I'm generating are going to provide some support in the meantime. So this is the ask today is if you know someone that is trying to um, find out how to treat their perimenopause and they're having brain fog, or someone that might suspect that they have ADHD and they're still trying to get a diagnosis and they don't know, this respite product from Train of Thought would be able to help them. So my ask for you today is I have put my link below, especially for those in Australia, in Sydney particularly. If you could help me recommending somebody that is willing to test these prototypes to see if we can make life a little bit better whilst you are awaiting proper treatment for ADHD or perimenopause, so that you don't have to be waiting for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. I don't think it's fair, and you need some level of support. And I can't go and ask for results if I don't have data. I know it works because I have done it with a few people, but I need more users that they don't know me and they're going to tell me, you know what, Eliana, your baby's ugly. It's not going to work. So there you go. That's the ask of today. If you could give me a hand and share this across, I would truly appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Take care. Cheers. Bye.